Happy Sunday, guys. I got all excited this afternoon after getting back from being out of town, and I got ahead of myself, so I'm backing up just a touch. And today we're going to make some tags or journal cards out of a master board that we made previously. So what is a master board? I have an example here. Oh, if I can get it out. Oh my goodness, already fumbling. Okay, so a master board is when you do a large collage and then it's you know, relatively random, but the idea is then you will cut it up for whatever project you're using, and it's kind of a surprise what you're going to end up with. So this is an older one. I haven't done anything with it yet. But a couple weeks ago, we did a collage one that was pretty fun. And that's what I want to use today. But I got to thinking I probably should have waited to cut it up until we could look at it. So here's a messy kind of realignment of what it looked like before I started cutting it into pieces. So that's what we started with. And now we've got a bunch of different sized, interesting pieces that we can add to. Some of it's coming up, that's okay. We can re-glue those. I've got big ones, I've got little ones. I had initially thought that what would be fun would be to do some of the layered tags. Another version or a similar version to the Tracie Fox ones that we did on Friday. And that would look something along the lines of having a base. This is just a piece of scrap paper or scrapbook paper that I really like the image on there. And then you just kind of, you know, do on there. But then I got to cutting these up and decided I don't really want to cover up a lot of this stuff. So I thought, let's just make a bunch. We'll add stamping for interest, but this is going to be, you know, our primary. We don't want to cover all of this stuff up. So that is what we're going to do today, and I think it will be really fun. So let me get you in a little closer, and I'm going to do my best to keep our workspace, to remember where our workspace is. What I ought to do, and maybe I will take just a second to grab, let's just do, I could have done this before, but I didn't. So I'm just gonna tape off a little area so I can easily tell when I am completely out of frame, so that I can try to be pretty decent about this. Moved things around a little bit. And we're trying the wide frame. Got some good feedback. So we're going to try wide frame. Let's see where we are. Yeah. And we'll try to remember. Let's pull these over here and give ourselves a little bit of a guide up top. There. All right. That should do me good. We'll try to keep in there. If it's too hard, we'll just pull out a little bit and do it that way. We'll just have more space. Okay. So I think I'd like to use some multiple colors of ink today because I think these have enough different colors that we can pull in some of these other, you know, we've got our purples and our blues. So let's get those handy. Got our green here. So we'll pull these in. These guys. And we've got our browns, our favorites. Got some black here. And we'll just start diving in. So I do want to make this a tag shape. So I'm going to go ahead and cut an angle here. Make sure we're going the right direction, and we'll cut our other angle off here. And I know we want to stamp. We can also, you know, maybe we'll pick a sticker for a focal point, something, but I think we're going to have a nice, relaxing and fun session today. Sunday afternoon, back from being out of town. Had a wonderful weekend. We call it camping. It's not really camping because it's a little cabin, so it's not like we're outside freezing to death. We've got heat, but we don't have water, so it still kind of counts as camping, in my opinion. Let's just start going to town here. And let's start with some chipped sapphire. I haven't used this too much. We're going to pull some of that ink up to the top, there, to the top layers. How about right there? Oops, I love it. I love it. What else do we want to stick on there? How about some high grade? And we can use some other colors as well. Try to get myself figured out here, the angles and where to work. How about this goes here? And if it doesn't completely come out perfect, that's okay too. Does not cause us an issue. How about now, let's grab a little black. Do our library card numbers. Let's do those here. That looks pretty cool. What else do we have? How about this fella? You can't go wrong with one of these guys. How about across the top? I don't know why I turned it upside down to do this, but I did. That's okay. That one. Now, how about some numbers? Let's go ahead and pull out. I'm just so always drawn to our field notes numbers. So let's grab some of these. Still my favorite set. And how about received? And I feel like we still need some things up at the top there. So how about our name of remitter? That guy up here. And we're going to put something here as a focal point, but I'm not sure what yet, but we'll get there. That... I haven't even used this one yet. Let's get this guy out. And the best part about this is totally random. There does not have to be any rhyme or reason to this other than deciding where you feel like your space is too blank and putting something there. Let's go ahead, I'm going to cover this up. Let's go ahead and ink our edges. I'm going to do black. I'm going to go ahead and ink our edges here so we get a better feel for what we're working towards. Now, if you're wanting to get these done quickly, you could lay out a whole bunch and just go to town stamping all over. You know, get one stamp out and go to town. I usually tend to do one at a time, but maybe next we'll throw some out. Let's go with a sticker. And let's see if we can find something in here that we want to use. These are the bigger stickers. How about these flowers? Those look kind of cool because there is this natural looking paper over here. So let's go with a flower. I think that looks really pretty as our focal point. And then we will give ourselves a hole right here. Or maybe we don't want to do a hole. Let's, instead of that, how about a paper clip? Is that too big? Maybe we want a colored paper clip. We make some space. Like I said, I got all excited and I really didn't think things through a whole lot, and I just kind of went to town. Purple. That's it. We're gonna go purple. Now, let's see what we got hanging around here. Handy. Got some of this lace. Let's go ahead and do that. Yep, up here. So let's put a little lace. Oops, that wasn't helpful. Little lace. String her through. Give it a nice tug. That's not too tall either. Scissors. And go that way, or we can go this way. Either way. That, I think, works out just fine. Wow, we went way in. Hold on a second. Why do we go so far? That's way easier. Well, maybe too much. Better. No wonder I felt like our area was so tiny. Zoom in 1.6. Nonsense. All right. We're clear over here now. Next time I'll be more organized, perhaps. Probably not, but I can like to think that I will. All right. There, better. And we're clear over to the edge here, so I don't even need this anymore. All right. That gives us a much, much better working area. I thought it felt really tiny. And that is because it was. Okay. So there we've got one done. That one was kind of quick. Maybe we'll put a little more thought into our next one. Let's see. This one might be fun because we've got a lot of space. And maybe we would want to, this might be one that we're okay layering up. So let's grab some of our others. Let's see what we've got. We could layer this one. What if we went that way? And then we went here. Or what other colors do we have here? I mean, they're all the same color, but that's actually the same piece of paper. Same section. Oh, I've got stuff all over the place again. Gosh, it doesn't take me very long to make a disaster of what we're trying to do here. All right, let's see. let's go with these guys and let's layer them. And maybe we'll even do more than one layer. We'll see. So I think for this one, what if we made that the top and we made, let's cut this one right here. Let's leave the numbers because I like the numbers. Let's leave that. It's going to be super tiny, but that's okay. And we're going to layer it that way. Let's grab our glitter glue and our top off. Let's get this. This one's a little loose. So let's fix this guy. Make sure he's down there solid. We don't want anything coming off. Got a little bit generous there with my glue. Okay. Got that guy. Let's close ourselves back up here. And I do want this to be a tag shape, but not so a little more subtle, I'll say, than the other one. Oh, now I'm not going to be able to tell which angle is which. That looks about right. They do have corner punch, different sized corner punches, just like they have with these corner rounders where you can have lots of different, three different sizes. I haven't gotten one yet because so far this has worked okay for me. If I were to get where I was making tons and tons of these and it became a issue with inefficiency, I might purchase one, but for now I'm fine. So let's do this. Let's go ground espresso for our ink. This time let's get a little darker. There is a new color out as of last month, and that is Scorched Timber. I have not seen that any of the stores have it yet. You can definitely get it online, but I haven't seen any of the stores carrying it. All right, so that's going to stand out better. One of the things that I saw on the Tracie Fox video was using a piece of cardboard to mount this to create another level of depth. I thought I had a piece of cardboard on my desk and now I can't find it. Let's see what I can find. There's no way I don't have cardboard in this room. I absolutely know I do. All right, I've got a box over here. 1 second. I'm just going to cut the side off of it. And we're going to have what we need. Sometimes you just got to improvise. Okay. There. Now we have a piece of cardboard. So what I want to do is I'm going to glue it to the back of this. I want to make sure that it is close to the edge but not all the way to it. We don't want to be able to see it. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see, maybe we can just use it all the way from the edge here. Probably about there. Looks about right. It's not perfectly square. It's just fine because it doesn't need to be. All right, will that stay behind there? Yes. I'm going to see if I can pull this tape off. The glue might be fine. But just in case, let's have a slick surface to glue to. I am going to go ahead and, I don't even need to do that. Let's ink up our edges this way. That's a gross sound, sorry. Just enough in case it shows a little bit. All right. Now, we're going to glue this first to our little piece. I'm going to do it this way so I can see better. Okay, let's give that just a sec. On my last video, I mentioned that I just now found Tracie Fox's videos, and I don't know how it took me this long. A lot of junk journal artists get her her tickets and her little tags or her printables, her little printable kits. I believe she sells them on an Etsy store. But man, I see why. Not only are her oh my gosh, I must be really tired. Are her tickets and tags really cool? All her projects, they're just gorgeous. Okay, now what do we want to do here? We want to do something. Let's put a hole here. That might not be exactly centered. I didn't do a very good job of making sure I was lined up, but we're going to stick a hole right there. Let's grab some stamps before we do our focal point. Let's see. We could do postcard. The publishers and booksellers won't fit. How about telegram? I haven't used that one yet. And where did I set? It's probably right in front of my face. Over here. Not directly in front of my face, but close enough. I should have been able to see what I was doing. Okay. Oh, but what we're going to have to do, since we have that other, since we have this piece elevated, we're going to go here. Make sure we can, yep, we'll be able to get it that way. Let's go with black. Let's have it stand out really well. Okay, and I think I might try to line it up close to that white line. Pretty good. Pretty good. Good enough. Let's grab then, let's steal another number off of here. And I want this number. I think I'm going to stick that here. Now, ideally, if I would have thought it through, we would have done all our stamping before we did any mounting. But we didn't, so we'll just make it work. Let's see. What else do we want? Let's see. We could go... Just thinking. We'll probably have a small sticker there. How about another number? I feel like we never go wrong with numbers. Let's not put it upside down. And I'm going to put it down here a little bit closer to the bottom so that we can get it. Oh, that was in my way. It still worked, even though that was in my way. How about something that's not a number? I know somewhere around here there are some little stars. I just have to remember where they are. Let's see, which one was that on? Not there. Not there. Or there. Or there. Where did you go, little stars? Well, now I've just got my heart set on having them stars, and so now I gotta find them. I just had it. It's the one that has the 5. Oh, it's underneath. Okay. Here we go. They are, uh-oh, they're not even on here. This is where they go. That's where they came from, but where did they go? They're probably somewhere on my desk. We may have to forego the stars if I can't find them quickly. All right, what else might we be able to do? I really wanted those stars, but maybe we have something different. Or I say that and I will just keep looking for them on my desk. I can also do that. I wonder if they happen to be in with some of these tags. Because that's the last time we were using these. That's when we had the tags. Let's pull our tags over. We will see if they happen to be in here. And if not, we can go a different route. They are right here. We're stuck to the back of something else. Excellent, because I really wanted them. All right, now I want our stars to be, I want them at an angle right here. Very good, and we might as well put a few right there. Very good. Okay. Now, I think the next thing that we should do is we can add a little ticket, maybe a little tag. Let's put that there, and then maybe we can add a cute little flower on top. Seems like a plan to me. Let's ink this guy. And there, we'll let it hang up, just hang over just a touch. Don't put it upside down. I'm gonna let it hang over just a touch. Another little area of depth and interest. And now let's pick a little sticker from the little sticker book. And that is, oh, knocking stuff on the floor. Also standard for this. All right, let's get that out of the way for a minute. We could go butterfly. We could go flower. I don't know if these would show up well enough on that background because they're so tiny. I worry about the same thing with these birds, although they're very cute. How about some greenery? We never used the greenery. Here, let's use this one because it's got kind of a a cool shape that maybe we can just... That looks pretty nice, I think. I enjoy it. And maybe, do we need something else? What's gonna actually show up? What about the cardinal? Do we suppose it would show up if we stick it? Let's put the cardinal right here. And if it shows up, great. And if it doesn't, well, we'll live. It'll be fine. It does show up. And I think that is perfectly fine. I am gonna take, where's the little scissors? Let me get a pair of my smaller scissors. I want to trim the extra sticker that's hanging over, just so it doesn't catch on anything. I think that's gonna work. Please don't cut my tail off. That's what the bird said. That may or may not work, but I might have gotten, okay, I got enough of a little slit in there that I can at least fold it over. Okay, now, he's cute. I like him. Now, let's decide what to do for here. Now, since we put all of this screeching, I don't know why all of a sudden this is such a problem. Probably because I cleaned my desk. When there's paper underneath everything, nothing makes noise. Okay. Since we've got the red, let's go ahead and use a little red eyelet here. You don't use a ton of these colored ones, so let's go ahead and do that because I think it will look cool. Got our red and our purple. You wouldn't think that that would go together great, but I do like that little color combination. When it makes sense. It's just one of those that you try it. Either it looks good or it doesn't, and either you keep it or you redo it. Either way, totally fine. Just paper. There's very few things being used, at least for my stuff, that can't be, if you don't like it, you can get more. I don't have, I mean, I've got some vintage books, but I don't have a lot of the like really expensive vintage supplies. It's just not something that I've gotten into at this point. Maybe someday. But I do like the ability to not have a bunch of stress about whether or not something is working out or not. Let's see. I do have, let's take the opportunity to use this. I think I got this at the dollar store. I think I probably had this for 2 years and haven't used it yet. Something like that. So let's open this guy up. And let's use him on this one. Cutting way more than I need. Ugh, wow, those scissors are terrible. That's why I have good ones. Aren't those? All right, let's poke this guy through. And I think we'll go front to back on this one. And let's see if we can get him through without too much trouble. Oh yeah, no worries at all. No problem at all. Clearly, I have not been to the craft store to buy the tiny little crochet hook. That will make this all easier, but we'll get there. We'll get there someday. For now, we'll just struggle through with what we've got. All right, I don't want to pull too hard. I do have the eyelet, but it's still paper, so we don't want to get too crazy. All right, let's give this just the littlest bit of flair. We will fold them together, go from the outside in, and there is our little two-dimensional, see that in there? Little two-dimensional tag for one of our next projects. All right, so 2 done, and there's the dog saying hello. What do we want to do next? Let's do another one. I think this time I got these pretty little brads from Temu, and they arrived in my last order. So let's plan to use that on something. So how about, let's get this guy out of the way. Why don't we grab one of the larger ones and do a journal card. That's another good use for this. Let's see, we got a couple of fun options. This one, I don't usually ever make horizontal journal cards. Let's do it. Why not? While I'm seeing this, I do want to go ahead and let's get that guy put back where he belongs before it gets ripped. But if it did rip, we could just glue it back on anyway. But all right, let's go this way. Now I do want to do this one. We're going to definitely do this one. What I'm trying to decide is how much do we really want to cover this up, or is this in a pretty good space to, pretty good shape to just not do a whole lot other than maybe a focal point. Let's start by inking our edges. Let's go this time. Where did our vintage photo go? It's our black. Where did you go, vintage photo? I should put in a picture of my desk, because with the amount of time it takes me to find stuff, you would think that I have a ginormous workspace, and I really don't. It's plenty big, not complaining. I got all the room I need, but it's not huge. It should not, everything on my desk I can reach from my chair. So where, oh my God, I don't know, here, I see it. You can't see it right yet, but I'm going to pull this down so you see exactly what I have been looking at. This is what I'm looking at. Would you like to know where my vintage photo is? It's right there. Okay, now that we see that I'm nuts, I shouldn't say now that we see, now that we have reinforced that I'm nuts, we'll carry on. Okay. Gonna go vintage photo. This is our kind of medium brown. It's a neutral brown, not quite as It's darker than our tea dye, not quite as orange for the undertone. So I'm gonna leave our corners square for now. We can round them if we decide that we want to, and then we'll just re-ink over them again at that point. Let's, since this is going to be a journal card, let's put some lined paper on. What do we want? How about this? It's a little too big, but we're going to use an index card for the back of this one. So let me get a piece of scratch paper. I had one. Here it is. Piece of scratch paper. We are going to grunge it up a little bit, but we are also going to, we don't want perfect edges, so we're going to, let's see if I can, we don't want it completely wonky either. It's not working because I'm not using a very, trying to pull out a piece that's smaller than we want. We're just going to go a little bit more. Let's just hold this down. We're going to give it a tear. We're going to hold this down. We're going to give it a tear. And then let's check our size so far. Yeah, see, that's good size. Now for the top, here's a technique that I haven't done before, but I'm going to give it a try. We're going to really rough them up. You can get distressing tools, and they're basically little bitty blades inside of a plastic circle that it gives you a safe place to hold on to. But as long as you're careful, you can do the same thing with scissors. Make sure they're open enough you're not going to drag them across your knuckles while you're doing it. So let's see how this goes. And you can do as much or as little as you want. And it gives a little bit different effect than the rough tear that we did. So let's just see how this all looks. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do the deeper grunging on the edge, and then we're going to do a little bit more subtle one to pull down that white. We don't want bright white. It's not the look we're going for. Okay. So that gives us, it's almost like a burnt paper, which I think is pretty cool. I'm thinking that maybe we want to do a really pale. We're going to do a little bit around the edges of this too, but in a different color. We're going to go with our speckled egg on the back of our card, and we're going to do this here. Now there's a couple ways that you can do this. I've got, it's just a cheap, really cheap makeup brush that has not been used for makeup. So I'm going to do it a couple different ways because I don't want to get the blue. I don't want to get, oh my gosh, I want to use this for the light blue. So that's right. The other thing you can do is you can use a one of these blending tools. This is not the $8 ones you get at the store. Got this for like $2 for a pack of 4. You can purchase domed foams for the ends of these daubers, but that's just more things for me to keep track of and lose on my desk, honestly. So I'm going to use this, and you can see that gives you a more subtle look. And I probably took too much off, but if you start off the page, that gets the darkest bit off before you get on your paper. Oh, I got a little bit heavy right there, but that's okay. And a little heavy there too, but also okay. Basically, and I bent it, but that's okay too, because check this out. This is always fun. Bend it back the other way and just give it a little bit more. It looks even cooler and more distressed. So now this does not look like a clean, white, fresh piece of paper anymore. I don't have any left on there that I can just get a little there. I am happy with that. That will work. We're going to then glue that on the back so there is a journal space for somebody to write. I think I'm quite done with that, so I'm going to toss it clear back to the away pile. And now I'm going to do similar, but with this light blue. So we're just going to ink up our brush, and we're going to, since we're gluing in the middle, I'm going to start in the middle and work my way out, because I'm okay if it's a little bit thicker there in the middle, because it's going to be covered. And this is just enough to take off that stark white. And I think it's going to be a pretty contrast to, let's see, there you can, it's subtle, but you can tell for sure when you get to, I don't know if you'll be able to see that with my lighting, but yeah, you can see that. Subtle, but it's not white anymore, and that's what we want. Okay. So let's get this out of our way. And I am going to make sure I put that this way, only because we all know that the pink line goes on the top. I should have left my paper up here. Let's get the paper back. we're going to use some of the art glitter glue on it. For those of you that don't know, art glitter, this is not glittery glue, but this is just the company name that makes this glue. It's a really good one. It dries really fast. It is thicker than school glue, and definitely stronger. But it grabs really fast. It's also not the cheapest thing on the planet. It's not horribly expensive, but I don't want to cover this entire back of this giant piece of paper with it either. So I'm going to just get a little bit. I'm going to make sure I do the edges. One more double check that this is the top, because once this is down, your glue stick gives you a little tiny bit of adjustment time, but it's not a lot. Once it's down, you are very lucky if you can move it at all. All right. Our lines aren't exact either, but we also don't care about that. So many things we don't care about. It's okay. We are not being perfect. We are having fun, and we are being relaxed, and we are being creative, not perfect. All right. Now, what do we want to put on our journal card to spruce it up? Definitely some tickets. Let's pick a couple tickets that we made last time. It doesn't have to be one that's already stamped. We could pick a stamp. I like this color there. We're going to go that and we'll put a different, we'll stamp something on it that we like. Shall we add a circle from our stash? I'm not really feeling that right at the moment. So, y'all know how I love my little bitty teeny stamps that we made. How about a 15 cents? Let's toss one of those on there. And we could even add one of our squares. Do we want to pull red in? I'm not thinking we feel much like pulling in red. There's a little more black. Let's go with that, and we'll put a sticker on it or a stamp on it. We'll do something. Or do we want to go pay? Nope, we already made our mind up. Okay. I think we will do something along the lines of this. And then we'll pick a place for this guy because I just love him. I think these little bitty ones are going to be ones that, like, I find something somewhere on every piece, a place to put those. So let's think about, get these out of the way. Let's think about grabbing something little bitty out of this drawer. This is the little snippets, but it's not the field notes snippets. It's something else that's not field notes. That's too big. We're just going to make a little pile of the big stuff. We need the big stuff out of our way. What do we got there? Tailors. That might look cool there, but I don't really want to cover those up. Let's see what else. There's some other tickets we made one of the other times. Public school. By our daily conduct, by your daily conduct, your character is formed. That's a little heavy. Very, for skill and amusement. That could go. It's a little bigger than I thought, but it's nice and long. So since it's longer, it's not like it's covering up all of those, what am I trying to say? All of those intersections. The intersections of the paper. Because that's part of what makes it so interesting when you do those multi-layer collage, is that it's got so many overlaps and interesting things. Could go with that. A little flower. That would work. Could go tiny postage stamp. We could go with a real postage stamp. We could dig those out. We could go with the pink flower. We definitely aren't going to use all of those because that's too much. We're covering too much of our work that we did before. What is that thing? No. No. I'm going to say no. All right, let's see. I'm going to take that and say no. Don't think, maybe we would need that, but it's going to be on the top if we do. I'm going to say no to that, and we're going to put those out of our way. Let's get these on. Go back to our vintage photo. Get these on. I might stamp this one before I put it on. We'll see. Because then if I do it all wonky, I won't be angry, but I won't be the happiest either. So let's get this on. And we'll do it right like that. So we see all the interesting intersections and overlaps, and the fact that there's so many layers. Let's get this guy up, covering up that white core of the paper. Make it look a little grungy and more put together and finished. We only need to do this just a tiny bit because we don't want to cover. It'd be easy to make this whole thing brown, but we're not going to. You know what I haven't done for a while? Before we put these on, and again, the Tracie Fox video is what reminded me of this. In all of my older mixed media pieces, I always did splatters, and it's been a little while since I've done splatters, and I don't know why. I love them. They turn out really cool. I might even have something right here relatively close to me with some splatters so that we can see. Do I? Maybe I don't. Anyway, so it's been a while. It's been a while. It's been too long since we've done splatters. So we're going to do some splatters. I don't have a giant splatter box that I want to mess around with getting out. So we're going to do it this way. We are going to, because this stuff gets absolutely everywhere, we're going to just go like this. We're going to pull the cardboard up. You can see I've used this plenty of times. And we're going to get out our, I don't even know if there's water left in there. I know there's water left in the black. We're going to get out our paint, our watered paint, and we're going to do some splatters because they add a lot of cool interest. Let me see, that probably needs to be mixed up a little bit. Let's grab a paintbrush. And we're going to get it nice and wet. Mix this up really good. It separates a little bit when it sits too long. And this is just acrylic paint and water. Nothing else fancy. Now what I think I want to do, I don't necessarily want it where we're going to put, we're just going to do this. We're going to put our focal point, so we're just going to cover it up. Want a couple bigger ones, so the more paint you have on your brush, the bigger your splatters will be. And as you get down where the paint gets, you get less loaded, you're going to get smaller splatters. So I should have done white first, but that's okay. Now we're going to let that dry, and I'm going to hit it with a heat tool here in a minute to get it dry. But in the meantime, I think we can get our white paint ready. Yeah, that's in need of some water. So I'm just going to rinse my brush well. Clean that off really well. You could use a baby wipe at this point as well, but I think we've got a good amount of the black off. I'm gonna get some water and we're gonna put it in our white paint to get that thinned up. Poof. So here, I don't know if you can see our consistency. Okay, before we go showing about different sizes of splatters, I'm gonna set this to the side and we're gonna hit this guy with the heat gun. And it won't take but a moment. All right, that's not fully dry just yet, but it will be in a second. I'm going to set it off to the side. Now, if you don't mind if your colors mix, then you don't have to dry it between. I don't want splatters to be gray, so that's why I want to make sure my black or white, whichever one you do first, is fully dry. But I can show you, oops, I can show you here. Here's our consistency, and here's a little bit of an example of really loading your brush. You can get big ones. As the paint, as you have less and less, you see they get much finer mist. So that is how that will behave. Now, I don't want to set it. Where'd my scrap paper go? I don't want to set my cardigan and get splatters all over the back, so we're just going to soak it up a little bit here. Get some of it off, and I'll get some more of it off. If it gets a little on there, I'm not too concerned, but we don't want big soaky white puddles on the back of our thing. Okay. That looks pretty all right. Very close to dry. So still going to keep this on. Going to grab my white. I'm going to load up my brush. Not super a lot, but make sure I didn't get too much. No, I'm good with those splatters. I think I want some bigger ones, primarily in the corners. Other thing to remember while you're doing this, it's acrylic paint. It is not coming out of clothes. So wear an apron or wear a shirt that you don't mind getting splatters on, because it does go absolutely everywhere. I'm sitting plenty far away from my desk, but you can see I'm splattered, but that's okay, because I don't care if this shirt gets splatters on it. All right, so I am going to hit this again with the heat gun quickly, and I'll go ahead and pause and I will be right back. Okay, we are fully dry. Now, we're gonna have to pick we'll pick a focal point. Oh, I got water on my desk. We don't want that. Let's stamp this little guy and decide what we want to put on there. How about something, ooh, how about copyright? That's cute. We'll do this. We'll do the little copyright stamp. If I can get it off. I'll stick it on here. Let's go black, since all of our other embellishments are black. Let's get that guy on there. cute. Set that off to the side. We've already inked our edges. So let's go ahead and assemble. It does dry quick, but just in case, I want to be a little careful. Grab our glue. And let's put this right there. Okay, and then we know this guy is going to go down here. Excuse me. Stick this here, gives us a good amount of overlap still showing. And now do we want this on top or just next to it? Let's layer it a little bit. There's just something about the tiniest bit of layering. It doesn't even need to be a lot. We'll cover all of these different intersections, or overlap these different intersections. And so you can, it just gives you more, I don't know, gives you more of something, more of more. Now, where did, there's our little stickers. We could also go with, instead of a sticker, we could go with one of our little field note flowers, or it's got a piece that's, I gotta get that out of there. There. We could put, yeah, let's put a little tiny mushroom. He's cute. We'll give our little mushroom. Right, so let's ink those edges. Get rid of that paper core. And slap this guy down. Here. Somewhere, and I don't know if it's close. Let me see if it's close at hand. I have a little tiny, like figure 1, figure 2. Got it in a couple of different sizes. Let's see if we can find the one that might be small enough to use here. Some of them will be too big. Where are you? Not there. Not there. Nor here, or here. Or there. What about on these? Oops. Nope. Not on there. And if we don't find it, we don't find it. That's okay. No, I'm not sure exactly which one that's on. So we are going to go without on this one, but we did forget our little stamp. Do we need him? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, we're going to set him off for now, but we want something to jazz up the edge a little bit. what do we want to put on the edge? Let's see. Grab our little thing here. It's too bright. It's too white. We used this last time. I wonder if we could manage. Where's the end of this thing? I wonder if we can manage this and stitch it. Let's try if I can find the end. Not that it really matters because there's a load of this and I'm never going to use super giant long pieces. We're going to do a really bad thing and we're just going to cut a chunk out of the middle because it's okay. Because we can, because it's ours and we want to use it. Give us a good size. Back out of our way, and let's see. That might look kind of cool to stitch that and have that be the top of our journal card. But what I want to do first is tack it down a little. So I'm going to put one little strip of glue. It doesn't have to hold everything, because we're going to stitch through it. We just want enough to hold it kind of in place. Oh, I might just be gluing it to my fingers more than anything else. I guess even if we don't get all of it down, if we get a general idea of where it's going to be, I can flatten the other bits as I'm sewing. That looks like a disaster right now, but I think we'll be okay. I think we will be okay. I'm gonna let this dry just a little because I don't want to wet glue through the sewing machine. See if we can get a little bit more of a pinch there. And we might not have even pinches, and that's okay. But I still think it will look cool. All right, let me pause you, and I'm going to hit my sewing machine, and I will be right back. Okay. So what I did, well, first, I forgot that I was out of bobbin. So I'll say I did it to make it interesting, that I left black for my top, or for my main thread, and white for my bobbin thread, but really, to be honest, I'm just kind of lazy and I didn't want to completely get a new bobbin prepped. So I just went with that. All right, so we're going to trim that there. That has some interest. We can leave our little dealios hanging. Can leave some thread. We could just squash it up there that way, should we decide. And how about, here's something that I got a while ago and I have not used them yet. Let's put a button on, because I haven't done that. So let's set this off to the side and let's pick a button. Here's all our random goodies that I've gotten primarily at thrift stores or on sale. So we got some flowers, there's a butterfly. That's cool. I think it's too big though. Yeah, I like the bingo button, but it's a little big. see what else we got in here. We have a, is that a piano? No, it's a couch. We have a couch button. Odd. Bird. Just a design. Butterfly. Oh, here's a bird's nest. That bird's nest is cool, but it's a little bit thicker. I don't think we want a couch. Not on this one. The other thing we could do is put a butterfly. That's not terrible either. All right, let's have our little buttons. So let's see. These ones are even, those ones are even smaller. So I'm going to say that we are either going to do a little butterfly or do one of these. And I'm leaning towards a round button. Leaning towards doesn't mean I'm not going to change my mind a million times. Okay. We're going to end up with one of these. I don't want that one. We want one of these fun buttons. Okay, let's get this out of our way. And we got to decide how we're going to put it on. Now, I did get these brads out because I said I was going to use those, but I don't know. I don't think I'm actually going to. I think that's going to be for something else. It's funny how sometimes it's the very last little decision that we're going to make that takes so long. All right, we're going to go with that just because we said we're going to. Now, we can do this a couple of ways. I feel like it would be a good idea to make sure that this is very secure. I don't want to pull out the big glue gun. So I think, let's see if one of these needles will fit through. This one might. Let's see if this guy will fit through this hole. Yes. All right, so this will fit through that hole, and I don't need it to go through a bunch of times. I only need it to go through enough that I can feel like it's secure. And we'll also add glue to it, but I want to have at least some bit I really need a needle threader. Or to find my needle threader. Okay. All right. So we just want this to be enough that it feels very secure. So I had my pokey tool right here. Going to grab, just gonna use this. I want something behind here that is sturdy enough. We want it right about there. So I'm going to go here. I probably could have used the needle, but after all the time it took to get it. Now we've got our couple of holes. I don't know if you can see those or not. Let's see. Now you can. Okay, so let's This doesn't have a top or a bottom, so that's fine. So let's stick this guy on there. Oh, come on. It's almost, yep, I was gonna say, I didn't know if I might need to. Let's get right through. I didn't know if I was gonna need to grab a pair of pliers. Now I got way more than I need for string here, so let's pull our twine back. But it's also just twine, so we don't need to make it too hard on ourselves either. Oops. Get that out of our way. We could even do a little bow back here. It is going to be a journal card, so it's going to come in and out of wherever we decide to tuck it in whatever journal she ends up living in. Right. Pull that a little. I need it too big. I'm gonna dab some glue in there. Oops, making a nice mess. Let's just get enough on there that it will, we can feel like it's not going to come off. All right. Oh, we could stick that up here, or we can just leave it. Let's just leave it. All right, so there is our finished journal card. So let's pull all our stuff out. Let's get this guy closed back up. So let's pull out our finished ones and see what we managed today on a nice quiet Sunday afternoon. So journal card. And we've got our little, let's see if we can get that out of the way. Whoops. Got our little tag, little bird, multi-dimensional. And then we've got our larger tag, flat, added a little bit of dimension there with our paper clip and lace. So there are, let's pull out a little bit. Wrong way, always the wrong way. There are our finished projects for today. I hope that you sat and crafted along with me, took some time to just sit and have some quiet time, had some fun. Happy Sunday to everybody, and we will see you next time. Bye.